test designed to provoke an emotional response. Shall we continue?
It's Friday, people. Come on. Let's go.
All right, people. Welcome on in on a Friday. Beautiful weather out there, I must say, as well. Very, very warm for October 23rd, which is pretty cool. You know, hopefully it's warm weather when you guys go trick-or-treating, you know, next weekend, you know. But yeah, people, it is Friday. We don't have a whole lot to do today. Remember, I'm aware that it's Friday. I'm not going to kill you with PowerPoint, but some big time stuff, right? We're going to learn about perfect competition today. We're going to start learning how to graph perfect competition, our first market structure, which is pretty big deal, obviously. So you guys got to get on board. You got to get on board over here. All right, and then afterwards, we're going to do problem set 3.4, only your second problem set of the week. Wow. All right, not a whole lot. Next week is going to be fun-filled problem sets everywhere. And then next week, we're going to finish up Unit 3. I'm already pretty much done with the playlist. On Thursday and Friday, we're going to start doing AP Classroom MCs and stuff like that. So we're pretty much done. Third hour, where are you guys? Where are you? No one's talking in the chat today? Where's my friends? Yeah, there you guys are. Okay, all right, anyway. All right, let's do the QOTD, the attendance in the chat. Boom, economics, let's go, get hype. We need that hype, all right, people? All right, so here's your attendance in the chat today. What's your favorite time of day and why? Like, time of day. Interesting to hear your thoughts on this one. What's your favorite time of day, and why do you like it so much? Late night is my prime, Ethan says. I think there's some more peaks around the hours of, 12:30 a.m. and like 2 a.m. No. My favorite time of the day is right now because I love econ with Mr. Moore. Yeah! Extra points, Nina. Hold on, let me get into Jupiter real quick. Let me give you some extra credit here. Hold on. Alright, 1 second here. Alright, Nina, go check your grade. Go check your grade, Nina. Alright, what else we got in here? Yes, Ballard's in the chat is sweet. Late at night is the best, but the morning would be cool too if I wasn't so tired. That is the trade-off. Of staying up late is in the morning you're extremely tired. Red Boston says, right when the sun rises over the horizon. It's a clean slate for a new day, plus that refreshing wake-up feeling. Are you serious? I can't stand the mornings. But good for you, man. I wish I was a morning person. I'm like dragging in the morning all the time. Whether I stay up late or I go to bed early, it doesn't really matter. But Red Boston is a morning person. Alright, Caleb says, probably the afternoon because I'm feeling the most productive. It's like right now. So like, Caleb, I got you at your peak right now. It's pretty sweet. How about that? Sunset, it's just so chill, Taha says. Likes watching the sunset. You know, the ladies, right? Taha likes watching the sunset on the beach. Alright? Mary says, evening because I'm finished everything and I need to. Yeah, I agree with you on that, right? Like all the work is done for the day. I'm like pretty prepared for tomorrow. So like it's just like unwind time. I like that. Anytime after sunset because I focus better at night. Me too. I'm much more awake and aware at night, and that's where I get most of my work done is at night. Cameron says night because I'm not doing school. I'm probably with friends. What? School's fun, Cam. Gotta get on board. Definitely like anytime from 2 to 4 a.m. for sure. 2 to 4 a.m. It's prime hours, kick back and chill. TF, out you know. What does TF mean? Jacob says night because I finish everything and I need. Yep. Agree with that. Probably afternoon because I'm usually most productive and I usually best time to go outside. Afternoon's pretty good. People like right after. I mean after I'm done with work, right? Which you guys are done with school, it's pretty good. Me and Hans go outside. We're chilling. Like got the work done for the day. But then I usually come back in and I work on stuff. So it's not really like the end, but every time diet is the morning. Tyler says the morning. Another morning person. Morning's pretty cool. I've never been a morning person. I wish I was, to be honest with you. If I could work out in the morning opposed to like late, that'd just be so much more like healthy for me, I think. Later night because you can just chill. Night it's more relaxing. Yeah, Nina right now has a 340% AP micro. I'm not gonna lie. You guys remember that, okay? When you're nice to Mr. Moore. Just kidding. I do some of my best work at night, but sunrise would be so happy. I like 6ish. I do my worst work at night, but sunrise would be so pretty if I could wake. Yeah, when's the last time I've woken up at sunrise? I guess like, I don't know. Sunrise is probably pretty early right now, is it not? It's like before. So right now I'm waking up at like 7:30. Sunrise at 8 a.m. I guess I just don't really notice it. Like 6-ish at night because you still have time left in the day. It's more chill. Anywhere between 10:30 p.m. and 11 because I love to sleep. Dang, Micah, you go to bed at 10:30? That's a lot of sleep too. That is what, 2? That's 10 hours of sleep. Oh my gosh. Yo, is this Major B? If you're uninvited to my birthday party, okay, now you guys are saying random things. Okay. Alrighty, people. Yeah, Nina's doing pretty good in the class. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Let's get to what we got to get to today. Let's get to what you guys came here for, right? This is why, Mr. Moore gets paid the big bucks, to educate the youth on AP microeconomics. Oh, hold on. Should we ban Chase? Yeah, he said the SU word. Oh my gosh, he said the flip. Oh my gosh. All right. People, Chase, we're putting you in the dungeon. Wait, hold on. Oh no, I'm not a mod on this account. Hold on. Who's my mods? Do we have mods yet? Mods, please, get them. Mods, get them out. Get him in the dungeon. Get him out. Where is he? Where's Caleb? Oh no, I'm not Caleb. Oh no. I meant Chase. No. Caleb, I can't untime you out. I'm sorry, Caleb. I can't untime you out. No. Chase is in the dungeon, but he's there with Caleb, and Caleb is nice. Oh no, Caleb, come back. Alright, people. Alright, we gotta stop messing around here. That was friendly fire. Gosh, Mr. Moore. Oh, I just saw C and chat was moving and that's why I need mods. I'm not supposed to be having to do this. You guys are supposed to do this. Yeah. We need mod applications. I think Cam would be a good mod. You can't be power hungry. Who else would be a good mod? Let's get two. Christian. Maybe. And we'll rotate them. If you ban someone for like not like worthy ban, oh, you are in trouble. You understand? All right, cool. Mayor's mod too. You gotta have good grades in the class, and you gotta be like always, in the chat. Tahoe would be a pretty good mod as well. All right, we got 4 mods. That's it. No more mods. Ethan would be a good mod too, but we'll keep it at 4. All right. You guys just want the cool blue lettering. I get it. All right, people. Let's transition. No, not that one. Gosh, I gotta worry about the same thing as my other one. All right, so can I pay to view? All right, people, we'll change the mods after a week. How's that? We'll do that. Oh gosh. All right. All right, so people, yesterday we talked about economic profit versus accounting profit. It's a big deal, and the reason it's a big deal is one, you're gonna see it on a bunch of FRQs, but based on if your economic profit is negative or positive, it tells you something, right? If your economic profit is negative, that means you should be doing something else, right? If your economic profit is positive, it means there's nothing else you should be doing, right? Because your opportunity cost must not be that great. And then obviously your economic profit 0, it means you could do either or, the alternative, choice or what you're currently doing. Yeah, Ethan is pretty mod worthy, man. I don't think this man's ever missed a question in his life. But, all right, we'll do that here later, all right? But anyway, and there's also this last concept, people. If economic profit is 0, accounting profit has to be positive. They love asking that question because it's an easy way to assess you on whether you know the difference between accounting profit and economic profit. So they love asking that question. I'm telling you, it's going to be the last question on many, many FRQs. If economic profit is 0, what must be true for accounting profit? It has to be positive. And the reason is because accounting profit ignores implicit cost. It ignores a cost, right? So if economic profit always has to be less than accounting profit is the whole concept. And then another vocab word for you, and you guys are going to see this a lot, especially when we're learning about perfect competition, is the words normal profit. Normal profit means firms are making $0 in economic profit. They're breaking even. But they're covering their implicit costs. There's nothing else they really should be doing that's more valuable. So before we talk about perfect competition, I want to talk more about normal profit because they're going to go together. It says, in an efficient competitive market, aka perfect competition, right? In an insanely efficient, as competitive as it can get, market structure, perfect competition, firms will always make normal profit in the long run. All right? I hope that makes sense. Again, what is perfect competition? It is hundreds of thousands of strawberry farmers all at a farmer's market trying to sell the strawberries, and their strawberries are exactly the same and they have exact identical costs and everything, right? That is as competitive as a market it can get, right? So firms will always make normal profit, and the reason is think of it like, a traffic jam. And whenever a lane opens up, right, where there's more room, what does everyone do, right? Especially in California, right? If there's a lane and that lane's moving quicker, right, and it's more open, what do people do? What do people do? Like, what are people going to do in this lane right now? Like what's going to happen here, right? They're going to merge onto the next lane, right? That's the idea. If this market structure is very, very competitive and there's low barriers of entry, there's nothing protecting their profits. If one firm is making profit and it's easy to enter into this industry, right? Firms are all going to enter, and then there's going to be no profit, right? Increase in supply, lowering the price, right? And then if other firms move away to some other market structure, away from another perfectly competitive market structure, then that lane's going to go quicker, and they must be making profit. And then so other firms are going to be like, oh, I want some of that profit, and then they enter into that lane. That's the idea. So in a very, very competitive market, firms will always make normal economic profit, right? To a point where there's no incentive to leave and there's no incentive to enter is the idea. Okay, so now you guys stop talking in the chat. Now that we got our mods for the week. Yeah, we'll do new mods on Friday. I might make Ethan a mod though too. Ethan's pretty deserving, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so perfect competition, right? This is what I gave you guys yesterday. You guys have already seen this slide, but again, it's many small firms, right? Imagine like a pie chart, and the slices of the pie are insanely small, like a circle with 100,000 little slivers in it, and not one firm is any bigger than the other firm. Okay, that's the idea. So it's as competitive as it can get. Not every firm is exactly identical. They sell the exact same identical product. So with that being said, they have absolutely no control over price. Whatever the price is in the market, wherever supply equals demand, that's the price that each individual firm will charge. Okay, no one firm is bigger than any other firm. And then also they have low barriers of entry. That's going to become more important next Wednesday when we talk about long run adjustment. You guys remember in macroeconomics, like long run adjustment, like if the question says long run, you have to automatically adjust your graph. It's going to be the same thing in perfect competition, and it all stems from barriers to entry. And then last but not least, perfectly competitive firms are absolutely not going to advertise. And the reason is, right, because they're making normal profit. If they advertise, it's an added cost. They're not going to influence demand, so they're just going to be making negative economic profit. There's no incentive to advertise for a perfectly competitive firm. So they are price takers. They take the price in the market. Check it out. I got Subway, people. But, so yeah, if a firm charges above the market price, no one will buy, right? So imagine this strawberry farmers market, right, where there's hundreds of thousands of strawberry farmers there, and the going price for strawberries is $1, right? And you're a firm, and you're looking to the right and your left, right, and everyone's charging $1, and you charge $1.10. What's going to happen to the demand for your... Hold on, did someone just like mod Caleb again? No. What's going to happen to the demand for your product? If you're charging $1.10 and every other firm is charging $1, absolutely no one's going to buy it. Not one person's going to buy it because there's so many perfect substitutes in this case. So they are price takers, and also there's no reason why you would price lower than $1, right? There's 100,000 other firms there. They're all charging $1. If you charge 90 cents, yeah, like people are going to buy your good, but people will buy it at $1 as well, right? Because your product is exactly identical as the other ones that are selling their quantities off for $1 as well. So, with that being said, this is going to be very, very important, people. The demand for a good in a perfectly competitive firm is going to be perfectly elastic. You guys remember elasticity, right? It's kind of a long time ago. Since the price is the same at all quantities, right, and there's no incentive to price higher, there's no incentive to price lower, right, demand for the good is going to be perfectly elastic. In other words, demand will be zero quantities if in the example I just gave you, if the price is 110 or 90 cents, right? Well, 90 cents will be the same as if it's $1, but that's the idea of perfectly elastic. There's one price that people are willing and able to buy it for, is the idea. So the demand curve is going to be perfectly elastic, which means a straight line. Because remember, elastic is, if it's demand, right, it's shallow. So perfectly elastic has to be, flat. All right. So the competitive firm is a price taker, and it's set by the industry. So with perfect competition, people, you're always going to be required to draw two graphs. Because what we want to do in microeconomics is we want to analyze the industry, we want to analyze the market, but what we also want to analyze is each individual firm. All right, so you generally have to draw both graphs. So the industry is pretty easy, right? It's supply and demand, and how you guys know it, how you guys have already been taught. Supply and demand is perfect competition. So just think about that right there, though, real quick, right? In introductory economics, right? You guys are rare, right? You guys are taking advanced economics, like a college economics, but everyone else that receives economics in the U.S., right? They get taught that every business works like this. Right? Every business, their industry is set up like this. And we know that perfect competition is like fairyland. It does not exist. There's no industry out there that is perfectly, truly competitive, right? So supply and demand doesn't work like this. But we're going to get there. But in perfect competition, right, obviously it'd just be demand, supply, and it's perfectly competitive, right? So wherever supply equals demand, there's going to be an incentive for the firm to charge, or all firms to charge $10, because if they charge more, obviously we're going to have a surplus, and they charge less, we're going to have a shortage. So the industry price goes back and forth, the invisible hand, to $10. So now we're going to draw the firm, right? The individual business here on the right. And I just told you guys, demand for the good is perfectly elastic. In other words, everyone's willing and able to buy this good at $10, and that comes from the market, right? They are price takers. So when you draw the graph, right, I want to encourage you guys to do the dashed lines going all the way across, because what you're telling the AP graders is that the demand for the good comes from the market price. All right, they're the same. And again, it's perfectly elastic, right? Because we're not going to charge 11 because no one's going to buy, and we're not going to charge less than that because we can charge 10 and sell out the same amount of quantity. Okay? Did I touch on everything? Pretty good there. So industry is all firm. You can also label industry market, but people, when you guys draw both graphs, make sure you guys label it. Make sure you label this industry or market, and make sure you guys label this business or firm. Usually just firm, right? It's a little easier. Okay? All right, so let's analyze the firm a little bit more. Okay? So it says, what is the additional revenue for selling an additional unit? All right, so we're going to look at marginal additional because we need some other measures here than just willingness and ability to buy this good. What is the additional revenue for selling an additional unit? So if I sell the first unit, I sell it obviously for $10, right? I sell a second unit, how much additional revenue will I receive if I sell a second unit? I'm going to go as fast as you guys can. If I sell my first unit at $10 and I sell all goods at $10, when I sell the next unit, the second unit, I'm going to receive an additional revenue of $10. There's Ballard. There we go. There we go, $10, right? That's the idea. The first unit earns you $10. If you sell a second unit, it's going to give you an additional $10, right? Third one's going to give you an additional $10, right? So marginal revenue is constant, right? Additional is marginal, right? So marginal revenue is constant. Every time you produce and sell an additional good, you're going to receive an additional $10, right? So we need to put marginal revenue on here as well, all right? So it says, notice, total revenue would increase at an increasing rate to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, right, as output increases. But the additional revenue would always be $10. So marginal revenue is equal to $10. And also, so marginal revenue is equal to demand. And also average revenue is equal to demand, which is also equal to marginal revenue, right? Because if you sell 3 units, right, the total revenue would be $30. So the average revenue would be 30 over 3, which is $10. That's a big concept. So instead of just labeling this demand, people, on your graph, I want you to label it Mr. DARP, Mr. DARP, right? And I don't know, it's called Mr. DARP, right? But what it means is marginal revenue is equal to demand, which is also equal to average revenue, which is also equal to the price of the good. They're all equal to one another. And it seems kind of like repetitive, but it's going to help you so much in different calculations. And also, when we learn about other market structures, these are not going to be equal to one another, all right? So whenever you draw the firm for perfect competition, label that demand curve Mr. DARP, right? And I like to do MR equals D equals AR equals P, right? Don't actually write MR dot DARP, right? Don't do that, okay? So it says for perfect competition, demand is equal to marginal revenue, which is a very, very, very big concept here. All right, so first, before we get any further with perfect competition, let's talk about maximizing profit, right? So we're going to assume, going forward, that every firm's goal is to maximize profit, right? Every business, their goal is to maximize profit. And generally is the case, right, for businesses. Their goal is to maximize profit. So let's do a couple things here, right? We got a marginal cost curve on there, right? And you guys know that marginal cost is U-shaped, right? Marginal cost goes down because of specialization. We can produce more output at a lower cost because workers specialize, division of labor. They become experts at a particular task. And then eventually, the law of diminishing marginal returns causes marginal product to go down because workers start stepping on each other's toes. Hence, marginal cost, therefore, would go up. So let's draw our Mr. DARP in here, right? Our marginal revenue line, which for perfect competition is constant. It's not always going to be like that. But for this market structure, for the next few weeks, it always will be like that. Price is always constant. Marginal revenue is always constant, etc. So let's put it at $10 here. Every time we sell a good, we're going to sell it at a price of $10. So the additional revenue received, the marginal revenue received, will be $10 each unit. My question to you is, how does this business know how much to produce, right? How many units will this business produce if they're trying to profit maximize, all right? It requires marginal analysis. This whole course is marginal analysis, people. So, in other words, will they produce that first unit? If they can sell it for 10 and it costs them an additional $8, right? They're going to receive an additional $10 and it costs them an additional $8. Will they do it? Yes, right? The marginal revenue is greater than the marginal cost. They're going to bring in more money in than the additional cost of producing that additional unit. Will they produce this unit? Absolutely, right? It costs an additional $6 to produce it, and they're going to sell it for $10. Yeah, right? The revenue is greater than the cost. The third unit costs an additional $8 to produce that third unit, and if they sell that third unit, they're going to receive an additional $10. Yes, right? They're going to absolutely do that. The fourth unit costs an additional $10, but they can sell it for $10. Yep, they're going to do it, right? However, there's no way that they're going to produce 5 units. Absolutely not, right? Because if they produce that fifth unit, it's going to cost them an additional $12. However, they're only going to receive an additional $10 for that. So basically, it works like this. Firms will continue to produce up until a point where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And once marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue, they're absolutely not going to produce that good, right? It's marginal analysis. You guys learned about this a long time ago, right? I'm going to go to the movie as long as the benefits exceed the cost. The benefits exceed the cost, and that the very second that the additional cost exceeds the additional benefit received from going to the movie, I'm going to choose not to do it. Same thing with businesses. Businesses are going to continue to produce, but if that additional cost is greater than additional revenue, they're going to choose not to produce that unit. So this business, in order to maximize profit, will produce 4 units. And then number 2 says use marginal analysis. We did that. MC is greater than MR. They're going to decide not to do it. People, that is so important. So it says short run profit maximization. What is the goal of every business? Like I said, it's to maximize profit. So the maximum profit what's going on, Mr. Moore? To maximize what are you doing? People, it's funny because I really haven't changed these PowerPoints in like 4 years, and that's the first time I've ever seen that. But anyway, to maximize profits, firms must make the right amount of output. So they're going to continue to produce up until a point where MR equals MC, and once MC is greater than MR, they're going to choose not to do it, right? So it says assume the price is $10. What'd you produce? If the additional cost is 5, yeah, right? It only costs 5. I sell it for 10. Yeah, I'm doing it, right? If the additional cost is 9 and I sell it for 10, yeah, I'm doing it, right? But if the additional cost is 11 and I'm only going to get $10 for it, right, I'm not going to do that. All right? So people, this is tattoo worthy, right? Profit maximizing rule is MR equals MC. Never forget that. Please never ever forget that. We're going to use this rule so much. You're going to see this so much going forward here. We're going to continue to produce up until a point where MR equals MC, but we're certainly not going to produce that unit if MC is greater than MR, right? If MR is greater than MC, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going, right? Until there's no incentive to produce that unit because the cost is greater than MR. All right. So let's go back to the perfect competition graph, right? We got industry, which is, easy, right? But now I put some numbers on it. So again, the industry, the market, that means all the firms, right, are going to sell their price, or they're good at $7, and collectively in the market, right, all the firms added together are going to produce and bring about 10,000 units to market here. But we want to analyze each individual firm and see how much will each individual firm produce, and what's going to be the profit for each individual firm. Since perfect competition, all firms are exactly identical, right? If you know the number of firms, and you know any information here, you just times it by the number of firms, and you'll be able to answer any industry questions, if that makes sense. All right. So let's put our cost curves on here. Now I told you guys that we learned about AVC and we learned about AFC. AFC we don't really need because it's the vertical distance between ATC and AVC, and you're going to learn on Monday or Tuesday that we only need AVC for one purpose, right? So when you guys draw cost curves, just draw marginal cost and just draw average total cost, right? So see how I'm on the firm right now. I'm just going to blow up the firm right here, right? Let's get rid of the industry. We don't need that information right now. So we got Mr. Darp labeled. We got marginal cost. We made sure marginal cost is U-shaped, and we have average total cost intersecting marginal cost at its minimum point. Great, right? That's all we really need to do is make sure we follow those rules. So it says how much output should be produced, right? That's usually step number one. And that's what I want you guys to do on your problem set today, right? The first thing you need to identify is quantity. This firm is going to produce how much quantity? Well, in this case, right, it's always where MR equals MC, right? That's what we just stated. The profit maximizing rule is where MR equals MC. You know, if it costs $1 and we get $7, or sorry, if it costs $5 and we get 7 for it, we're gonna do it. 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 We're just not gonna make this 10th unit, right? This 10th unit cost 8 and we sell it for 7. We're not gonna do it. So find your quantity of output. It's always where MR equals MC. In this case, it's 9 units. This firm will make 9 units because if they make 8 units or 10 units or anything else, their profit, their total profit won't be as much as it will if it was 9 units. All right. So here's our total revenue, right? It's just price times quantity. I hope you guys know that. Total revenue is always price times quantity. So the quantity produced will be 9, and we're going to sell each one for $7. So 9 times 7 is $63. The whole box would represent total revenue. Then the next question is, okay, well, how much does it cost to produce 9 units? Well, that's what our average total cost curve is for, right? That's why we learned about it. The average total cost is the average total cost is 5 each unit when we produce 9 units. So if each unit costs $5, when we produce 9 units, 5 times 9 is 45. There's our total cost right there. So we got total revenue, right? And you find that by MR equals MC, because this is the average revenue. So the average revenue is 7, and we produce 9 units. So therefore the total revenue would be 63. And then average total cost gives us our total cost, right? Because we do price times quantity. So the difference is the profit right there. Now, obviously you guys aren't, I'm not going to be able to give you guys FRQs where you're asked to draw the graph and shade it in, but on the AP test, they always ask that, right? Draw a perfectly competitive firm, shade in the profit, right? It'd be right there. It'd be the difference between MR or your total revenue and your total cost, okay? So profit would be 18. Now, people, if you did the math right, you would see that if we produce 8 units or 7 units or 6 units or 10 units, right? There's no way the profit would be greater than $18. That's why it's the profit maximizing level of output. And you find it where MR equals MC. Okay? So now it says, suppose the market demand falls. It goes from $7 to $5. Well, people, MR equals MC always applies, even if we're making a loss. The profit maximizing rule is also the loss minimizing rule. It's the same thing. Let me show you, right? Let's say price goes from 7 to 5. So here's our new price, right? And we got this price from the industry. So maybe, demand decreased, or maybe supply increased, right? Something happened to the price in the industry, and that's how we have our new Mr. DARP line, right? So everyone's willing to buy our good at $5 now. Well, where does MR equal MC? At 7. Now, some students will get confused. Some students will be like, well, MR equals MC at 2 different points here, right? People, if you're ever in the downward portion of marginal cost, you're going to ignore that, right? Because every time you produce a unit, you're producing that additional unit at a lower additional cost, right? So the downward portion of marginal cost, you're never going to produce at any of those quantities ever, right? So on the upward portion of marginal cost, where does MR equal MC? It's right here, right? So the profit maximizing level of output is $7. We're going to notice soon here that we're not making profit, right? We're actually making a loss. But any other quantity would be a greater loss than producing at 7 units, okay? Again, it's also the loss minimizing level of output. So how do we find total revenue? Well, again, this is why you label this Mr. DARP, right? The average revenue of each unit is $5 when we produce 7 units. Each one sells for $5. Each one's going to bring an additional revenue of $5. So 5 times 7 is our total revenue. We produce 7 of them, and we sell each one for 5. Total revenue is $35, right? And how much is the total cost, right? Well, go to your quantity, because we have decided that we're going to make 7 units, because that's the profit maximizing level of output. So go to your 7 units, and go up to your average total cost curve, kabang, right there, and draw that going across. So we know that the average total cost of each unit is $6 when we produce 7 units. So the total cost would have to be 6 times 7, which is 42. So our total revenue is going to be 35. Our total cost is 42. In this case, we're making a loss. we're making a loss of $7. Again, if we just select 8 or 9 or 10 or 6 or 5, 4 or 3 or 2, the loss would be greater than $7. The profit maximized level of output, MR equals MC, is also the loss minimizing level of output. That's the idea. Okay? All right, people. That is it for your Friday lesson on perfect competition. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a Google Meet and we're going to chill out a little bit. Okay? All right, people. I'll see you guys in Google Meet. Take a break if you guys need it. I'll see you guys at 1:38 at the latest.